right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It's your boy Trust My Level. So I'm gonna do a recap from yesterday because yesterday was an amazing, amazing, amazing day. Whoo! Can't tell you enough. Yesterday was great. So hopefully everybody got a chance to trade. And if you didn't, let's walk through some things from yesterday. So when we came in yesterday morning, and I try to tell people that are taking my Fibonacci retracement Fib cheat code course that, you know, when we come in, we are looking for, we got a gap, and then we're looking for them to take it down to these profit box. All right. So this profit box is here set up. I walk through it in the course, but it's set up here, and then they come down, you know, they tap it, stay right there with it, and then proceed down to the second profit box. Now I have a broad information down here for those that don't think I'm using broad informations. I have the broad information down here, and it was at the 35.60 area. But as you can see, we started to gain some momentum coming through here, and then it stopped abruptly right here, gave us the this 3 outside candle, and then, you know, did a little H. And then once it did it's almost H, it proceeded to pop back up to the original profit target level. Then boom, came right below it, gave us another H, gave us a shooter coming down. But at this point, you know, once they start pushing this back up, everything that I see here is going to be considered a TTO. Because once you break back outside of this profit box, I'm like, yeah, y'all trying to push this up. And then boom, they pushed it up. And we tell people here, we got 2 brown informations right here. Matter of fact, yeah, when we came down, we hesitated at this brown information, which is a weekly. We hesitated at this one. And then we came down to our profit box, which is the Fibonacci retracement. So you can see I'm combining the Fibs and STRAT. Yeah, so we got that outside bar. It went back down, boom, came back down, boom. All right, we just talked about that. Now, when I start seeing push-ups, I'm looking for upside down H's. So we get that upside down. Yes, this is still a continuation of that one because now, boom, we got that right there. So we in the strat world, we call it the TTO. For me, you know, it's the upside down H because anytime I get a downward move, I'm looking for H's that are right side up because then I can start basing everything that I want to do off of this H crest. And that's why I tell everybody, mark your H crest. Because then once you start seeing people come across that H crest, so they have created, and I don't have to do it for this one because the H crest has been created right here with that broad information. For this one, you want to draw that area that the actual crest is at, so that when you come back and retest that area, when they start coming back up and retesting, you're like, okay, I am going to look at this. You broke through, and then you came back and retested it again and take off. This is just like people when they do the trend line breaks, where it breaks the trend line and then comes back down to retest that trend line and then takes off. This is the exact same concept, but I'm marking the H crest because that is now market structure for me, okay? That is market structure for me. So again, we had the H crest here. It broke through, which is the brown information. It broke through that brown information, came down and retested the brown information, went back up, dropped back down again, but it dropped down to the actual market structure right here, and it took off. And when it took off to our 50%. So with this Fib, we're like, okay, how do I get, you know, what am I looking for to get into this play? I got out, you know, we would have gotten in here. I didn't play this morning, so I can't really tell you what I would have been doing, but it would have been coming off of this. As soon as we started coming outside of this profit box, I definitely would have been looking at the play going back to the upside. And I called it in the room, and I told them, I was like, look, once we get to that profit box, you're going to target the other side. And when I'm telling people to target the other side, I'm telling them to target, you know, one of my levels up here or one of the levels up here, because that's what we're doing. We're looking at this and we target it, and whoever took that 36.25 call would have caught it from here all the way up to here, and that's a good move. So we passed a few brown informations in between. It got to the 50%, 61%, hesitated, got up to that 61% again, but now it's starting to not go below the Fib levels. So now that you're not going below the Fib levels and you're inside the gap, we got the gap defense, comes back up, takes out some more of the gap, stays inside the Fib levels, breaks the Fib levels. And then we got a broad information, another weekly broad information right here. And then it pops up, boom, comes back down inside, and then pops right back up to the first target that we want to start looking at. for that target the other side. And then it popped up and hit a second extension target up here at the 36.37. And you have another broad information right here, which is when we start to notice, okay, this broad information is getting tapped. 1, 2. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 times it got tapped. We starting to move down. All right. 13 times, 14 times, 15, 16 times, this line right here has been tapped. And this is a broadening formation. So when we start seeing the stock starting to follow broadening formations, all right, it's time for us to start looking for something, because now that you're pushing it down slowly and methodically, yeah, well, you're tapping that level, but it's tapping that broadening formation, and it's staying in between the broadening formation and this fib retracement. So I'm like, okay, either this is nice little consolidation, because then now it turns into, hey, I got a horizontal line here with a descending line here. I'm not calling it what y'all want to call it, but you can make out to it what you want. But this is the broadening formation right here, coming in, tapping it, boom, it comes down, it comes below it, comes back up, retest that. Everybody is in that thing. Everybody and their mama was in that thing here. And if you were in calls, I don't know why, because after this right here, once we get that inside bar and down, and it came below this broad information and stayed below the broad information, that was it for calls. And just these little pop-ups. And this is where you start, you know, I tell the people, hey, draw some other fibs in here to get your levels to get in, because I drew one yesterday and I got in over here at this 36.26 on the 30, what was it? The 35, yeah, 35.90s, the 3600s and the 3620s. Is when I got in here, because it did pop down to this one right here. I'm like, okay, maybe we can get into something here. But when it popped up to this, which I think was it was one of the fib levels there, and then it popped back down, boom, and it hit 35.82. I got out when we got down to this 35.90. And then it popped back up. That's when I got back out, because I was like, okay, we got a brown information here. It did not come back above, so I probably should have stayed in that. And those contracts were at 1,900% right there. So you can imagine my surprise when we went all the way back down to this right here. And they went all the way, kept on pushing down. So I'm out up here, and then it gave $20 more, $30 more. This is at 35.90, because I wrote on my board 35.90, and then it came down and it tapped 35.68. So at 35.68, I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't missed out on a whole nother 1,000%, because I think these contracts ran about 3,000% from when I entered them. So I got 19, but 1,900%. But coming down here, oh my gosh, this would have been so amazing, because that would have gave you $20 extra in the money. Because remember, I had the 35.90s, the 36.20s, and the 3600s. So that 35.90, all of those were amazing. But that 35.9, matter of fact, I'm gonna bring you over here. Let's bring this other chart over here so we can see what I'm talking about. I don't think you can see that. Let me change this window real quick, and then you'll be able to see it. So new share, and then blah, blah. We're gonna go with, here we go. All right. So you can only imagine getting into these yesterday at that low down there at 25 cents, because it started off in the morning. What happened in the morning? Let's see what we got. In the morning, it gave you a $9 to $20 run. Then it gave you a 12 to 25 run. Y'all out here getting 100% all day on this thing. Then it gave you a 9 to 14. Then it gave you, oh, it was yesterday. My bad. That was my bad. My bad. That was yesterday. So all yesterday, okay, it popped up. Yep. So we gapped down in the morning. It gave you a $28.50. Then for the rest of the day, after that, we pushed up. All right. Here comes the craziness. Now, I wish you could see this other screen at the same time. So at 1434, so looking at that 1434, we jump back over to this other screen here. All right, 1430, 1434. Here is that 25 cent area right here. This is when the contract was 25 cent right here. And this is when everybody was popping in, trying to get into this play. This is when I told people, hey, we're hitting a fib level. I think we're about to drop. Let's get it. We didn't make it back up to that broad information. And then we went kablam. All right. So now let me make sure I'm still sharing the correct window. There we go. Then we came over here, boom, 1434. You're at, oh, maybe it wasn't at 25 cents there, but it was at 4. Okay, I'll give you that. 20, if you got in 20 minutes ahead, but regardless, whenever you got in, that is one. That was 25 cents. Yeah, so at 25 cents, and then you took this up to $22. When I got out, that thing was at 11. Whew. So let's see how much that went. No, it was more than 11. Let's see here. This right here went 8,000%. Look at that. 8 here is at 8,000%. It went up to 8,800% for that play from that drop down to the bottom of it. Oh my gosh, boy, how can that change somebody's life? How would your life have been changed with an 8,000% run? Type that in the comments. Let me hear that. That would have changed some lives out here on 8,000%. Whew, you put $100 in there, you get 8,800 back. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. 35.90s, 36.20s. These went from $3.60 up to $50. That's only 1,200% for those, but still, 1,200% ain't nothing to balk at. A lot of people they're trying to get 20%, 10%, 30%. And if you allow, the traditional traders to tell you these percentages are not possible and it's impossible to do this, then, this will be unfathomable for you to do. Because, it's trained in our mind, hey, let's get this 10%, let's get this 20% and get out. And that could have happened. And if you were trading this yesterday, as soon as this popped up to $6.50, and then it got your 80%, you were like, yeah, I'm good. I'm out of there. And then it popped right back down, and then it got down to $3.90. So now you're at 10%. People are like, okay, I'm taking it. I'm out of there. And then right after that, it shoots up 1,000%, 1,100, 1,200%. And then, people are like, don't worry about what you missed. Now, if I miss 1,000%, I got a problem. I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to have some conversations with myself. We're going to talk about this, sir. But, yeah, so just, whew. Yeah, this was amazing. I'm going to tell you that right now. And then after that, it just stayed in the little area. Didn't really do much after that. It popped back up about $20. But, hey, you had 3 opportunities on this yesterday to do something with it. You got your first drop was right there. That gap down and drop. You came over here with it. It came right above this 35.86 area, which was the H crest. Make sure we mark that. Edit properties. H crest. Show name on the right. Okay. Boom, that was H crest. That's when I know we're actually reversing, because you created your market structure here. They created market structure here. Boom, it comes down and retest it and shoots through. Hits our 50%, 61% up there. Hits the gap, and now the gap is being defended there. Brings it back down. You get a little hesitant, and it pops back up to the target, the other side targets. And then they hit that broad information, and after that, it was hey, Mr. Broad Information was giving us all the information we wanted. Again, shout out to the people that don't think I'm using Broad Information. And shout out to the STRAT, because, Rob gave us this information, and it is amazing. So, yeah, combine it with the fibs, and you are in the game. So, yeah, and I use these fibs, so I don't have to think a lot about this. We got to come. This is made for futures, made for SPX, anything that's highly volatile, made for anything. Any stock that you can think of, you can use these fibs on. Now, for these slower moving stocks, you can still use them. You're not going to get those big, huge 5,000, 6,000% on them, but shoot, you can still get you 1,000% on something like KO. Some coke out here in these streets, you can get all of that. So, and I'm saying Coca-Cola, as in the company. Thank you, before I get flagged. But yeah, make sure you get the Fibonacci cheat code. It's down below. Look in the comments. You'll see the link to the Gumroad. And then let's go. And if you have any questions, let me know. Yeah, let me know. All right, I'll talk to y'all later. Have a good day. I'll be in class for the open, but still, make sure y'all do a good job. Remember, today is what you call it, FOMC. So do not try to, if you are a novice, don't you try to jump in there. 2 o'clock is the drop, the announcement, and then 2:30 is usually when the reaction happens. If you are new to this, do not try to jump in there because you can lose every single dollar that you put in there. So just be careful and watch it. Watch, sit from the sidelines. This is going to happen over and over again. And you can see this was not an FOMC yesterday. Some news came out, but I wasn't even, I'm telling you, we don't even pay attention to news. We're just in the play because they were giving you heads up on something coming when they hit them brown information. So yeah, so today, just be careful with FOMC. You know, don't expect any big moves leading up to it because they're gonna make that big move during the announcement. So just be patient. So if you can catch something in the morning, if it gaps down, gap up, does whatever it does, if you can catch that, good. But if it comes over to like 1 o'clock, 1:15, 1:45, just be patient. Don't try to jump it. Don't try to anticipate it, because you can lose. So anyway, all right, I done made this too long. Let's get it. Have a good day. If you got any questions, reach out to me on Instagram. Reach out to me here. Reach out to me in Discord. Reach out to me wherever you can find me, and we'll get it. All right, I'll talk to y'all later. Have a good day.